Yo, you're listening to All Elite Podcast. Boom.
And it is the worst podcast ever. We lied! Ow!
Let's go Bill Sky, Daniels, collecting SoCal and Central Door. SCU!
This is Isaiah Cassidy. I'm Mark Wynn, and we're Private Party.
This is the All Elite Podcast.
And you're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
Which happens to be the worst podcast I've ever been on. SCU!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your host of the All Elite Podcast, back at it again, your CEO and owner of the No Holds Barred Network, Kyle Masters. I'm always joined on this podcast by my co-host. She's the EVP of Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, the Queen of the Indies herself, Tiffany.
What's going on?
I'm doing good. Doing great. I'm explosive after a huge night of Dynamite last night. My God. They were back live, and they were back with a fire.
They're back with a vengeance, man. They really are.
Yeah, they were. It's like they've been itching to get back at live TV, and they went out full yesterday. They killed it. They absolutely killed it, which we'll get into on this podcast today. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Elite Podcast for myself and Tiff. Recap Dynamite from this week, and then talk about everything AEW right here on this podcast in a fun and positive way. Try to have fun with you guys. Try to make this podcast as fun and positive as we can, especially now during a time where we need fun and excitement. So, yeah. Here. All Elite Podcast.
Join in the chat. Share the stream, guys. Let's get some people in here. We love
most importantly, guys, hit that like button. Make sure you are hitting that like button. Even if you're here for just a couple of seconds, hit that like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm to get it up on top for when people search up All Elite Podcasts or anything AEW podcast related. It'll help us out a lot as well. So make sure you're hitting that like button for sure as well. And hit subscribe if you haven't already. There's a lot more here on the network to be provided than just the All Elite Podcast. We have indie podcasts. We have everything for you, and we're now looking for a WWE podcast. We've come in contact with a couple of people. We're still figuring things out, and we will, when we figure that out, we'll have a WWE-related podcast to the network. So other things with the network, though, most importantly, guys, is Power Slam TV, which if you don't know what Power Slam TV, I'm going to let them tell you guys what Power Slam TV is. So here is a brief commercial on Power Slam TV. Oh, man. Fuck. I had it on mute. Fuck. Why was it muted? I never muted it before. Well, I got part of the commercial. Neat.
PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at powerslam.tv.
Well, I hope you guys heard part of that commercial because OBS decided to mute the first part, whatever reason. But you guys heard it. Power Slam Wrestling Network, guys. Awesome wrestling network that is basically your source for watching independent wrestling. And we are officially sponsored by them on the No Holds Barred Network. We have a code to give out to you guys. Use code NOHOLDSFREE at checkout. That is NOHOLDSFREE at checkout, and you will enjoy 1 month free trial on us. That's right, 1 month free for you guys to experience some indie wrestling and explore the world of independent wrestling. So we are excited to have that part of the No Holds Barred Network as we continue to grow, Tiff, on this wrestling network. So excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, and we'll be back tomorrow as well, and we will be reviewing 2 death matches on the Power Slam TV.
So we're back
So
with Indie Talks tomorrow.
Indie Talks with the Indie Queen. So I'm all excited. So I got Kyle on the train. I love it. But yeah, but we're here for some AEW.
Oh my
AEW.
God. They killed it. I saw that they killed it in the ratings this week. They absolutely killed it on TV. It went by so quick. And when a show goes by quick like that, it means that they did a good job. It means everything was just done so perfectly, and it just felt good to be live again. There was a dramatic difference, as everyone I'm sure heard, the 25% capacity thing. So basically, they had crowd there. They still had the wrestlers at ringside. They had crowd there, which I found that it was staff and friends of staff that were allowed in the building. This were not ticketed people. These were just families and friends of the staff there to kind of fill out some seats in the crowd and kind of give sort of an ambiance that there's some sort of crowd there. But it was a massive difference. You could tell.
And then Tony Khan, they said that they tested everybody before, because there was a massive tweet about that for everybody was nice and safe before entering the building. So, which is great as well. So glad to hear it. And I agree. Like, this was absolutely amazing. I love that we had roster and friends and families like in the crowd, because it made it everything. Right. And when the wrestlers are having fun, the fans are having fun. Right? That's how I feel.
It was such a good episode of Dynamite. We had a lot of good matches. We had the AEW Dynamite debut match for Matt Hardy, which I'm wearing his shirt right now. This was a surprise gift from Mrs. Masters, who got me Matt Hardy shirt. She saw how excited I was from when he signed 2 months ago, and she ordered me a Matt Hardy shirt. So shout outs to her for getting me that shirt. I'm still waiting for my Sean Spears one. It's on the way. Yeah, solid episode of Dynamite, which we'll get into. But first, you know how we do here. We go around what's going on in that AEW world. We have a lot to talk about. We have a jam-packed episode here, guys, especially in the AEW world part of this podcast. So the one thing we'll start off with is, so now that there's crowd back, Tiff. Usually when there's crowd, when they would have sign of the night. So yeah. Now signs of the night are kind of going to the wrestlers that are at ringside, and we had a sign of the night by some of the wrestlers. So by Austin Gunn and Billy Gunn. Take a look, guys. Look at this sign. Jimmy Havoc takes bubble baths.
I don't know where this stuff comes from, but it's always classic.
They even drew the bubbles.
I know.
Like he went into detail with this. He took time to make sure the font was neat and you can be read, and then draw the bubbles. So I don't know if Austin or Billy drew that. But
I don't know. That looked good. Like I don't think I could make it look that good.
I can't wait to see these guys tag together, man. They keep telling these guys are a tag team, the Guns. So,
like, oh my goodness, yeah. Why haven't we got this yet? So hopefully we will get it soon. That would be. I totally love it. So
there was that. So that was sign of the night. Another thing that we had on Dynamite, as you guys saw, there was sort of like a debut. Nyla Rose was back, so our women's champion was back. She faced off against I guess you can call them enhancement talent. I don't know what we call them here in AEW, but her name was Kenzie Page.
Yes.
And she tweeted out, she's actually only 18.
Yeah.
And she puts, I'm 18. Am I the youngest person to ever compete on AEW? I think she is.
Yeah, I think so too.
18.
I think Sammy was the youngest, right, at AEW?
I think so.
But
she's taking that title.
But again, like, as I keep going deeper into the indie scene, I've been learning that a lot of these guys train like really early, 13, 14 years old, but they're depending on the state that they're not allowed to like physically be in a match till like they're like 18. And if it's a little bit before, then they have to have parents' consent as well. But again, it depends on the state that they're wrestling in.
Right.
So, but congrats to you, man. 18 years old, you held your own. Like, I give you a lot of credit. I don't know if you saw this. I forgot to send this to you. Did you see Nyla Rose when she was taking the flight that she had the championship belt in the seat next to her and it had the freaking
mask on? Yeah, I saw that.
Like, this is great. Like, these are the things. This is the fun. This is what I love. So,
and poor Kenzie, she had to go up against Nyla Rose, who was looking to make a statement and kind of put in place that she's still a badass and she's still the beast that has the championship. So she had to go through the wrecking path of Nyla Rose and got absolutely destroyed. So, but congrats to Kenzie Page, 18, man, that's crazy. Can you imagine being 18 years old and going into an AEW ring on national television and having to face the women's champion and having, I guess, the honor to getting squashed. Yeah. That is awesome. I remember when I was 18, I never would have thought I'd be on live TV. So good for her, man. At 18, that's pretty cool. She did get a lot of followers too after that, so good on her for that. Yes. Another thing I want to point. So this is really funny. So if you guys are, I'm sure a lot of people out there are aware, you're with the times. If not, you kind of have to go and see what this is all about. So Tiffany's done one of these. A lot of wrestlers have done some of these. It's called the Don't Rush Challenge. Yeah. Christopher Daniels. Oh my God. Decided to try it. So we know Christopher Daniels, he's old. He's in his late 40s. I don't know if he's hit 50 yet. I don't remember. I think he might be 50 now.
Yeah.
So he decided to try the Don't Rush Challenge. And I apologize for our on-the-go listeners. You have to come back and watch this or have to look it up. But for you guys watching on YouTube right now or Facebook or Twitch, or sorry, Twitter, let's take a look at Christopher Daniels' attempt at the Don't Rush Challenge.
He's 42, by the way.
42, thank you. So here we go.
I can't. This was so funny.
I just love the end where he's like, I thought you said don't rush.
I love that all the wrestlers are getting put all this stuff. So I love it. We didn't get like who was it? The Inner Circle. We didn't get like one of those this week. I would have loved to see like one of those.
Bubbly Bunch.
Yeah, the Bubbly Bunch. Yeah, like I would have definitely loved to see something with a Slim Slam.
That was hilarious, though. That was probably by far, I think, my favorite Don't Rush challenge.
You didn't like my Don't Rush? No, like.
And he tripped the best part in his underwear, and he trips over himself.
That's what makes it the best, I love during all these times that we could get some laughs during this. So
he pulls off a wrestling cell in a Don't Rush challenge. Like, that's great. So that was funny that I found. Another thing that was funny that someone made into a GIF. As soon as I seen this on TV, I'm like, someone's got to make this into a GIF. And I think it was our girl Queen that retweeted someone who put it into a GIF. And guys, this is like the funniest GIF ever. Look at this. Britt Baker's reaction. I think this is a reaction to. Was it Cody Rhodes' entrance? I don't remember what she was reacting to, but this was freaking hilarious. Look at her face. Like, she's got the perfect face reactions to everything. Like, Britt's. Yeah. This quarantine has done wonders for Britt, man. She is progressing well lately, and I'm giving her like full props. Like, out of the ring, she's been, pun intended, she's been dynamite.
Yeah, that was with the Kenny and Matt one.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because Kenny was the one on BTE about poisoning her boyfriend, baby.
So that was
again. BT is so important, guys. Make sure if you haven't binged it, this is time to binge it while you're home.
Actually, funny you say Bay. There was I didn't get the video, but there's a video of Sean Spears at ringside. He was like videotaping himself during a match, and like MJF got into it, and then he turns over and goes, "Oh, look, Britt Baker's here, baby."
My God, I was dying today with that. I was like, I love it. And then, oh, hi guys, thanks for coming, or whatever she said. I was dying. I was like, stop. I'm like, this is great. This is what makes it even better, right?
Her videos were good too during the whole street fight. I don't know if you saw, like, there's all the clips put together of all her reactions.
Yeah. It was like, oh, hi guys to Santana and Ortiz. I was done. I was like, stop. I was like, this is too crazy. I was like, oh my goodness.
She was great. She's been doing really good. I've really enjoyed that, and she made a statement on Dynamite, which we'll get into as well. But the best part, I think, a really cool thing actually I want to point out is Dynamite is during the street fight, they got to like the edge of the stadium. I was so hoping they got onto the football field. I was waiting for it, but they didn't.
I know, right? We swore that was gonna happen last night. I really would have loved to see it, but.
And then this was cool though. Right then, the last thing we saw before Dynamite went off air. Look at this. We had the inner circle, the entire inner circle, all flipping the bird. With the giant inner circle on the Jumbotron, the football Jumbotron that's in the stadium with their logo. What a cool sight. This was this is such a good way to end the show. This was so well done. And just think, guys, see that stadium? We might one day see an AEW pay-per-view in that stadium.
Kyle, I think if that happens, I think we're going to have to go. I think we're gonna have to make another trip for the podcast again and go and do one of these shows again.
We do know that probably won't be for a while, so let's not pump the brakes, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, everybody. Like the AEW stadium shows are a long ways away. They got to establish themselves first. So we all know that. We talk about it every time. Yeah. But But
I'm down to do another pay-per-view for the podcast together. That was a lot of fun.
And then not only was Dynamite good this week, they booked next week to be just as good. Oh my, this is why this is great that we're back to live, because we'll go over it right now. So we'll start off with this. Next week, Brody Lee is going on against Christopher Daniels. This is a good match. I can't wait for this match. We saw how good Frankie and Moxley was this week. This is going to be a good match. So we got Brody Lee, Christopher Daniels. We know the backstory with the Dark Order as well with SU, right? That's where it kind of all started, this Exalted One thing. And everyone thought Christopher Daniels was the Exalted One, including us. Like at one point, we both thought that he could be the Exalted One. So now we're getting the actual Exalted One facing off against Christopher Daniels.
It's about time. I mean, there's a story here.
This is funny. Next week also we have MJF's first match since injury, quote unquote injury, because he's now, as he puts it, he's what does he call it? Something healed, fully healed, but he says it healed as in he's a heel. I forgot he says it a certain way. Someone's gonna correct me in the chat, but MJF's back from his quote unquote injury. Whether he wrestles or not is something to be seen. We have a cool tag team match next week as well. Best Friends are going up against Jurassic Express.
Oof.
So we have Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy facing off against Trent and Chucky T. So
I hope Luchasaurus finds his tail.
I hope so. I hope he's fine. Why he's probably gonna come out tailless, unless he finds it on next week's BTE.
No, I feel like he's gonna find it on BTE next week before this.
And then we have Marco Stunt and Orange Cassidy's valet, so we know we're gonna we're gonna have some funny stuff between those two.
I love it.
Next week also we're gonna hear from Jake Roberts and the Murder Hawk, so they got, I guess, a promo of somewhat to kind of explain what kind of happened this week, which was half awkward and half cool, which we'll get into. Also next week they booked it after the show. Santana and Ortiz are back in the ring. They're going to be facing off against Kenny and Matt Hardy again. So this is interesting.
This is going to be good. I love it.
So not a street fight, an actual match. So this is going to take place mostly in the ring, which we got mostly in the ring this week, but most of, I guess, the best parts were outside the ring. Last but not least, this is pretty cool. And then they said there is going to be championship implications on this match. We have a fatal 4-way women's match.
Finally.
Happening. Sheeta, Penelope Ford, Statlander, and Baker. So basically, your top 4 women besides Nyla Rose in the company.
I was wondering, is this going to be for a number 1 contender for Double or Nothing?
Well, Tony Schiavone did say while they were announcing this that there's sure to be title implications over this match. So it's either we're going to get it at the beginning of the show next week where they announce that it's become a number 1 contenders match, or they're going to do something from this, because there's still two weeks to build here. So
still 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's
something to watch though.
I felt like we get this, and whoever wins, I mean, God, this can go, and again, this can go either way of whoever. Yeah. So I don't know. This is going to be a killer match. I'm so excited for next week.
Fatal 4-way, man. That's and with these 4 women, it's sure to be really good. What's also shaping up to be really good, Tiff.
Yeah, I know.
It's Double or Nothing.
I can't wait. I can't believe we're like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, which don't mind the poster. It is actually not at the MGM Grand. It's gonna be at Daly's place, but when I made this, it was at the MGM Grand. They've added 4. Well, we knew of one match, but now there's 4 total matches for this pay-per-view. The one I want to talk about right now. This looks promising. So we know when Double or Nothing first happened last year, they opened it up with the Casino Battle Royal.
Right.
This year, they've changed it up a bit. They've made it interesting, and we have a casino ladder match.
Good.
For an future AEW World Title shot.
Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy.
What a concept! And a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's basically Money in the Bank." I'm like, every company uses this damn concept. It's not like WWE's the only ones. Fucking Impact's been doing it for years. So
everywhere, I love it. So we should just as a fan tweet, but you guys are in the chat. Let us know. Like, who do you think is entering this?
So it's funny you say that. I actually wrote down 6 people that I think are going to be in this match. I presume 6. I don't think you should do it any more than 6, or else it's just too clustered.
Okay.
I wrote down 6. So I wrote Kip Sabian.
Okay.
Wardlow. Hangman Page, who's going to make his return. Shawn Spears. Darby Allin. And Kenny Omega, where you're going to create the conflict between Omega and Hangman, who are the tag champs. I don't think the tag titles are going to be defended at the pay-per-view because they haven't been featuring Hangman even with this live. I thought they would at least do something with Hangman for this live TV, but something's telling me they won't be defending the title belts at this pay-per-view. So I put Kenny and Hangman in the match to create, create conflict. They're an actual team, but in this case they have to kind of fight for themselves. So there's like interesting conflict you put in this. Like they can do spots where they both climb the ladder at the same time, and they kind of have to choose that over their tag team friendship. So that's why I put them both in the match.
I like reading the chat. So Orange Cassidy, they're saying Pac, MJF, Darby, Kip, Spears. I definitely feel Kip and Shawn Spears is gonna be in this. I could see Pac being in this. If Hangman Page doesn't come back, then I could see Kenny Omega being in it.
That's one thing we have to remember too. Now, even though we're back on live TV, Tony Khan's still giving the option to wrestlers to stay home. He's not making them come back. So if they want to stay home even during Double or Nothing, I don't think he's going to make them appear.
Yeah.
So,
but MJF has a match at Double or Nothing versus Jungle Boy.
Yeah,
so that's
I thought I put that in here, and I didn't not. Oh, I did. I haven't gone through them all. That's right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. So it was interesting that they just kind of shot that out of nowhere when they were interviewing MJF. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're being told by Tony Khan that MJF, you're going to face Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing." So it's really random, this match.
Yeah, there's like no build. And that's the only like thing that kind of sucks a little bit is that we only got like 2 weeks left to build for this pay-per-view, right? At least we've had a little bit of storyline with some of the matches, and like, is everybody gonna come back? Like, are like the Young Bucks gonna be back? Like, there's a lot of questions here. So, but we have 2 weeks to build this. But I have confidence in AEW to do this correctly.
Yeah, and for people out there that want to complain that they only have 2 weeks to build, it's the pandemic. It's not their fault. The pandemic has put them in a place that live TV couldn't have happened until now, which is literally a couple of weeks away from Double or Nothing. So they have to do what they make do, and I'm sure we're gonna get storyline with a little bit of storyline at least into this match. But just be thankful that MJF not being put into a serious match where you would love more of a storyline and more of a build. Right? He's going up against Jungle Boy, where it's like you don't need a build. You're kind of just gonna have a pretty entertaining match.
Right.
So.
Oh man, yeah. So Kilroy said Pineapple Pete is going to win with the ladder match.
Pineapple Pete, yeah. If I will be all for that, and I'll mark out if Pineapple Pete is somehow in that ladder match and wins. I would love that. I'm not gonna lie, I would mark out.
Yeah, definitely. I love.
But then I'd sit there being a podcaster, would be like, well, you picked him over this guy, and blah 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 blah. Anyways. We know of the other match that's actually happening, the TNT Championship, Cody and Lance, which talked about for weeks on end that this was sure to happen. And Who knows what the outcome of this match is? Probably going to be the toughest match to predict when we do our predictions. But another interesting match that they added. So we have a World Championship match. And it's good that they're doing this now so we can have some sort of build for it because this is their world title. Moxley is going to face Brody Lee for the championship. And this is interesting because at first when they first announced it, when like the Dark Order stormed the ring and attacked Moxley, that's the first thing that went in my head. I'm like, okay, so it's Brody Lee and Moxley at Double or Nothing for the title. So I had mixed opinions about it at first, but then when Brody Lee cut that promo after when they came out, that I'm like, okay, good opponent for what we have right now, for the couple of week build, for the roster they have. This was very well done, and it's going to continue. Like they're going to have a couple more weeks here to build this, and I think they're going to do a really good job. Like Tiff said, we have faith that this company can do it, and I think it's a good opponent. I think it was a perfect opponent, Brody Lee and Moxley for the championship. But there's always a but. There's always a dad ass.
Oh,
sorry, not that kind of but. I mean, there's always a but with a 1T. It's hard to see Moxley winning because Brody Lee taking his first L like that is horrible.
Yeah. Oh my God, me and Ray were having a whole conversation about this last night, and it's true. Like how like that kind of like sucks because we built Moxley up right to be this beast, and it's like we got kind of like screwed out of the title run with Moxley, and like there goes his title run, like because it's true. Like you're thinking about it, and I know like a bunch of us were saying the person that's probably going to take the belt off Moxley was Archer, right? Like a lot of us were saying that because I know I had those conversations with people and that's what they were saying, right? But like it's true. And you spend so much time on the Dark Order and we waited for the Exalted One. All this time, the Exalted One is the one, right? And it's like, how do you not go into Double or Nothing and not take Moxley down? And then that sucks because it's like, damn, then we're not going to have like a long reign and then championship, titles mean something in this company.
It's just so
there's
tough.
a lot to factor in here when we start doing our predictions for Double or Nothing.
And people can't just go off like right away, like your first instinct, because you kind of have to look at this match more in depth. This one and the Cody and Archer match are the two, and it's funny because those are the two main championship matches for this pay-per-view. Those are the two matches you kind of have to sit there and think about if you're going to do a prediction. Like if you're going to do predictions with your friends or you're going to pay and do one of these paid prediction things that people do out there. You have to sit there and think about it. Moxley losing the belt is too early. Brody Lee taking the L is too early because you've built him up so big. Like he's been built up as big as Lance Archer. That's why I go back and say like Lance Archer should win because of what they've done, but then you look at the other side, Cody as the TNT champion is good for business and good for promotion. So there's so many factors you have to sit there and look at when you look at these two matches, and this is gonna suck.
Yeah, Brad said in the chat, he goes, he could easily blame one of the creepers for the loss, and Metal's like evil Uno can cost him.
Oh so my God,
way too soon. But what about John Silver, right? Because like John Silver was the one, like if you go back and you start thinking about it, like John Silver was the one that was kind of questioning the thing, and we can blame them. Maybe they get booted out of the Dark Order because we haven't seen Alex Reynolds as much and John Silver, and I don't know. Like there's this is what I like. It makes you sit here and think, and you can wrap your head a million ways with AEW, and this is why I love AEW so much.
Maybe they do a screwy finish.
I don't know. Guys, let us know if you're watching this later. Leave it in the comments. I mean, if you're in the chat, write in chat. Just know what you think.
This is just Double or Nothing already, man. It already has two matches that you're sitting there going, who the hell is going to win? And it's good, man. It's good that they've already done that, and that's their two main championships. So that's really good as well. But speaking of, let's talk about Dynamite this week. And Dynamite this week was, in fact, Dynamite.
Yes.
And it was good. We had like the whole intro. We had the whole intro and the theme song. I was like, oh, and the pyro. I was like, oh, this just feels good again. It felt great. And that small difference of the staff and the crowd really made a difference, like I brought up. Like it was just like the perfect amount of noise. And speaking of noise, my boy Sean Spears, guy's gold, okay? With the air horn, that was fantastic. blaring it all night, and him and MJF were back to betting, and oh, he's comedy gold, man. This guy's money. I don't know why people are so against this guy. He's so good. But yeah, really good episode of Dynamite. And again, I love that the crowd's back. I love we're back to live. We opened the show up with Cody and Joey. This was a good match. Very long. That match went on longer than I thought it was going to, and very interesting match. But I think those two kind of did a good job for what they did, basically.
Yeah.
And then Cody obviously getting yelled to stay strong, looking at going to his match with Archer. But I think Joey put up a really good fight for Cody. It's not like Cody was the dominant one all match. Joey put up a very good fight.
Yeah, Joey's getting better. I don't know if you've been noticing, but I noticed that he's been training more with Chris Dickinson on, if you notice, on Twitter. So I don't know if you're familiar with that or whatever. But
no, but I think so.
Okay, yeah. So Indie Queen. So like he's been kind of training a lot with Chris Dickinson a lot as well too. So he kept up with Cody a lot. I loved his gear, and Joey Janela always wears crazy gear like that. If you haven't followed Joey before AEW, so I was really loving his gear with the leopard and the little streamers like kind of like hanging down his pants as well. So, but no, I'm glad like this match started off Dynamite. It was a good choice for match to start.
Yeah,
Dynamite.
It's true what you said, dude. Joey does looks like he's getting better in the ring. The one thing I noticed he does do really cool is his elbow drops are like clean. They're very, very well done.
Yeah,
but
he's getting better. Definitely getting better. Still, like again, a lot of these guys aren't used to being on TV every week, so you can only go up from here. And the fact that they've had more time on TV the last couple of weeks since a lot are being home, so now they're shining more.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, very good opening. Another thing I want to talk about on Dynamite. So we got to talk about it because it's been on my mind that I want to be getting to.
Okay.
It's the whole. So we had in the beginning it was Lance Archer against QT Marshall. So QT was out there getting revenge for Dustin after what Archer did to him. And then Lance Archer with Pyro, awesome, by the way. That kind of intensified his entrance a little more. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. And then so he couldn't find a member of staff to take out at ringside. MJF, though, when he went around, he's like, yo, man, I'm cool. Social distance. And he came around the other side and just punched out one of the baby faces. I think they mentioned who it was, but I forgot who it was. But they got knocked out and they flew into the chairs.
Oh my God, I can't.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Oh my goodness.
And for as much as QT put up a good fight, Archer obviously getting the W here, and Jake Roberts was at ringside this week, and very interesting developments happening. I'm gonna pull my shirt after the match. We'll talk about the good stuff that happened after the match. So after the match, interesting. Britt got into it with Brandy, and Britt hopped the barrier and gave Brandy a DDT on the outside, which rolled her into the ring. And I don't know if those two are starting a feud or what.
That's what I thought. I was like, what the hell? Like
just for yelling at her in the match.
Like, imagine, like, we see that at Double or Nothing. Like, I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't know what's going on with those two. But
you forgot to talk about Britt Baker smacking QT with the shoe. That's like the thing now.
That's like her thing. It's her shoe.
What's going on now? Like,
she needs a chancleta to hit people with.
Oh, no, stop. That's a New York thing, man. No, that's a Bronx thing.
Anyways, so she's rolled into the ring, knocked out, and then Jake kind of goes to the back, and he comes back with a familiar face. Everyone knows him as Damien. Clearly, it's not Damien. Is it Damien Jr.? Is it Damien the Fourth? Like, I don't know how long snakes live, so I don't know what version of Damien this is, or are we getting a new name like Jamian or Camian or Dejarian?
Stop it. All I know is probably Hank Flanagan was marking out somewhere.
So the snake, the whole snake thing, and it was cool. It was awesome up until after he placed the snake on her. And then Jake, I mean, I know he's old. He's from the 90s, which isn't excuses, obviously. They're not excuses, but, like, maybe not do that. because in 2020 that's looked at as maybe you shouldn't, because a lot of people were tweeting after him in that almost thrusting position over Brandy, and there's a lot of people that tweeted that they were very uncomfortable by it, Kip Sabian included, and even Aubrey Edwards just said nope, and she kind of copied and pasted about 300,000 times, probably as much as Twitter let you, but it was a little awkward. But as for the snake thing, that's cool. I'm glad that they're bringing that back, and
gave me flashbacks to like the 80s and 90s, man. Like, it really did. I was like, wow. Like, I remember watching this as a kid. It's kind of weird, right? Like, I was thinking about this lesson. I was like, it's so weird seeing this. Like, here it is that, like, you grew up. I mean, I'm old, but, like, you know, like, growing up and, like, seeing that then and, like, seeing it now. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it's cool at the same time, you know?
Right.
But
and then and now we're getting, like, now it's starting to get a little bit more personal, right? Like, this is, Cody is sure to probably come out and at least answer like Lance Archer and we don't know if there's gonna be an in-ring promo, Archer and Jake, or they're gonna do another vignette, because they kind of just said they're gonna be, you know, saying they're gonna come in and kind of talk next week. They didn't exactly say what and how, so I imagine it's gonna be a vignette and Cody's gonna answer the vignette in the ring, or Cody's gonna start with a promo in the ring and then they're gonna talk. But they're furthering this feud in a way to make it personal. Now they're making it very personal. Like, Cody is not going to take shit like that over his wife, and for Jake the Snake Roberts. And I mean, Brandy can hold her own. We saw the promo that she did. She did a very good vignette this week as well on Jake, which is really cool. So this feud, I'm liking it. I know it's not exactly what we wanted for the TNT Championship, but I'm glad they're doing something with it, and we're getting some sort of storyline going into it. So it's good. It was a very interesting segment after that match being called segment. But our boys, I did notice, I forgot to bring this up, our boys' private party were at ringside this week. So I'm hoping we get to see a private party match at some point in the next couple of weeks. Like, seriously.
My boys. I love them. I miss them.
Obviously not next week, because next week's so jam-packed. I'm hoping they're going to get everything done in 2 hours.
Yo, Double or Nothing. It's gonna be Private Party versus the Bear, man. That's it. That's what it's gonna be. Book it. Book it.
Oh my god.
Book it. I need to see the continuation of the Bear. He needs some milk. Now, if you didn't know, if you don't understand the concept of the Bear, you have to go into Isaiah's Instagram, like back then in the indie scene. So that's where the Bear comes from, because the Bear was always attacking them different times. So
the whole private party thing, what they've been doing in quarantine, was hilarious. So
oh my god, shout out to my boy Isaac for doing the videos for BTE, man. Mm-hmm. That's my boy Isaac. So shout out to you. It was so cool to see like his name, and shout out to Bones being on BTE as well. So sorry, I know them all.
You said you knew the one guy at ringside this week, and the guy that Cody posed with backstage.
Nasty Leroy. He was he's another wrestler, and like he's been on Joey Janela's Instagram stories a lot lately, like when he's going live on Instagram. So you guys are like, where is this guy? He is a wrestler, and he has been a lot on Joey Janela's Instagram live feeds.
Okay. So. What else happened on Dynamite this week? I'm trying to think. So Nyla Rose made her return, as I said before. Cut a little bit of a interesting promo beforehand. Squashed our 18-year-old girl. What the hell's her name again? Kenzie Page.
Yeah. I love that we saw like MJF and Shawn Spears betting in the freaking.
Yeah. But then they made it. They made a. Oh wait, I think Britt's reaction, that gif is from Nyla coming out, because they had the camera on Sheeta, and then they put the camera on Britt right after to see what her reaction to Nyla coming out is. And I think that's what Britt's reaction was. I'm almost certain.
I love even like we saw when Cody threw the belt and Sheeta like caught it, and like they're all reacting. Like, confused, but like she's trying to like react. I love it. I love her so much.
Sheeta needs to be protected.
Oh, Sheeta needs the belt. Like, I love our girl Sheeta. We need more Sheeta. Like,
I hope she wins next week. I really hope she does. I think she deserves to win.
I do too. I really love her. But like, I mean, we can move on. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing and again, like I talked about this before, like I would love to see more of Penelope Ford. And she has wrestled so much I've seen in the indie scene. So I want to see more of the women. So hopefully, we get all our turns. So you think Sheeta and Nyla are gonna go at it again? Like, lot we can see coming.
Yeah, and like we brought it up on the Wrestle Forum, like. It's tough in the division. Everyone's at the same level, so it's tough to. There's no one that's leading our division right now for the women, so it's just gonna be gotta do what we gotta do. But again, like we brought up on Wrestle Forum, we need more storylines in the women's division. That's for sure. Anyways, speaking of storylines, we have Moxley facing Kazarian, who had hair. That was, I guess, he grew out his hair in quarantine.
A double take. I'm like,
Who?
Huh? I was so confused. And then I saw like pictures floating around when he had like long hair on
me
Twitter.
too.
So like I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, okay.
I forgot his Impact days, man. He had long hair. I totally forgot about that. I spaced out. And I'm like, oh, he's growing it out. I'm like, I thought he was like completely bald like me, but no, he's able to grow his hair back, and I guess that's what he did in quarantine. Other than that, they had a very good wrestling match. These two, very aggressive wrestling match between Moxley and Kazarian, and I don't think it made Kazarian look weak at all. He had a nice tweet he sent out after, kind of like an honor tweet to Moxley, saying like, thanks for giving me the chance, and respect to you, and we're better as a team, SCU, but he's like, mark my words, everyone on this team can be a main eventer and be a champion. So. And basically showing how strong SCU is. And for sure, like Kazarian, like these three guys, besides Scorpio Sky, obviously Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are the oldest, but they show that these guys can still go. Like they can still go in the ring. Maybe Kazarian more than Christopher Daniels, but these guys are showing that they're still, they're not going to be looked at as this old team that's just kind of in the background. So good for them.
This wasn't my favorite match. I would have liked to see Scorpio Sky and Moxley go at it. I felt like that would have been a better match, in my opinion. It was good. It wasn't my favorite match, but like I said, I would have loved to see like Scorpio.
We have to remember, we don't even know if he's there.
No.
Oh wait, did he come out? Did he come out afterward?
It came out.
Okay, he did. It came out. I remember. I can only remember Christopher Daniels because he got laid out on the ramp there.
No, he came out. But like I said, maybe, I would love to see that. So it would it was a good match. It wasn't my favorite. I think I would have been more entertained with Scorpio Sky and him. So
hopefully, maybe not next week. Maybe the week after we kind of get that. Maybe we get Moxley against one of the other members. Maybe. Yeah. But I assume they're probably going to further storyline between Brody Lee now that this match is official. So. Eventually, after Double or Nothing, we get a Moxley. I want to see Moxley and Scorpio go at it. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
But other than that,
let's just go in. Come on.
Might as well go to the main event because I don't think anything else. I don't think anything else happened.
Nah, just little like vignettes, but are always great. The whole what's it called? The MJF thing, what we briefly talked about, and then
MJF had a commercial was really good. MJF with that promo was fire though. By the way, like he's just. Proving more and more this guy is the top heel probably in this industry, and this guy is the future, and he is so good now. I can only imagine how good he's going to be when he reaches his ceiling. So,
in due time.
Also, Sean Spears had a really good promo too, and he cut it basically blaming Cody. Like I don't know what they're doing with that. He was basically blaming Cody about what happened to Dustin. I'm going like, are they still keeping that a fuel to that feud? Like, what's going on with that?
Which is great, which is fine, because I will be more than happy for that feud to continue on again. So I feel like that's always going to be a thing.
Well, these guys have similar styles. They both wrestle the same way. So, like, they kind of clash together when they come into the ring, and they both can we know they can both have a really good build. We know the story behind those two. The story goes back to all the way from the beginning of AEW for when Cody brought him in, called them kind of like a second-rate talent, to the chair shot, to their match. Like there's a big story between Cody and Sean Spears.
Yeah. It will continue. It'll be just one of those ones that will never ending, which is great. So, but come on, let's go into the thing. Everybody's in the chat.
Okay, main event. Probably, and I labeled this podcast episode as because I actually think this is probably the best street fight I've ever seen.
Absolutely. It had entertaining
everything. It had entertainment. It had comedy. It had character changes. It had weapons, everything but the kitchen sink was used in this freaking street fight.
And I love how it's like the fans are like following, like the roster of the fans. They're following wherever they're going, and it made the biggest difference of this. It was so entertaining.
I just remembered. I saw Shug D's video, and he was recording. He's going, "World Star, World Star."
I'm done. I can't.
Sorry, Pineapple Pete.
It's like Private Party as well. Like that they were like when Matt jumped off the ladder. Like I love to see like Isaiah. He's like, ah! Like I love you guys. Like.
AEW is so good. Come on, guys, get on the train. Get on the AEW train, man.
Oh my
Get on while you still can. And speaking of train, I think Sammy Guevara feels today like he got hit by a train. Because of that golf cart spot.
That kid is a star, man. Like Jericho made him a freaking star. Like I can't. Like I am so behind Sammy. I really, really love him. And I know like at the beginning a lot of people are like, oh, he's so green, but he has really become a star. And like the whole thing of him running from the cart. Yeah. You know, I was dead. And all the memes and all the stuff that I was seeing on social media today was like, bravo to you guys.
Trust me. I got him here.
Hilarious. Like I'm dead.
So if you haven't seen it, guys, here's the picture. I put it up for you guys here. There's so many things that are factoring into this picture. So we'll start with a few. To the left, you have obviously the quote-unquote fans and staff. You can see even the one guy, he's got the credential necklace videotaping. You got the Guns back there who are watching from behind.
Like
then we
yeah.
And then we turn to the people actually in this shot. So you have Sammy Guevara. Look at his face. He is scared and actually serious that he thinks he's going to outrun a golf cart.
Yeah.
Then we turn to the golf cart. And look at Kenny's face is by far the most priceless one out of all three of them. Look at him. And then Matt just in his, his like, typical, like, yeah.
Kenny's like possessed. That's what it looks like. But, oh my God, too funny. Kilroy said that he was a little disappointed because there was no dipping dots involved. There should have been some dipping dots, man.
Maybe there wasn't any back there. But the best meme I seen in the Matt Hardy tweet was this one. It was that same picture. And here it is. So 2019's a guy filming, the credential guy. And then you have me as Sammy Guevara. And then 2020 as the golf cart.
I'm done. I lost my shit with what was it the ATM machine when Sammy threw Kenny into the ATM machine and then the money came out and then Sammy like picked it out and then he threw it at Kenny. Yeah. I was done. I was dying. I was like, I like legit.
He put it in his pants.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is? I was like, wow.
And he grabbed the $1 bill and he smacked Kenny's face with it.
Oh my God! Now, see, if that was Jimmy Havoc would have stapled the money to the forehead. That's like classic things that you would see in death matches. But oh my God,
we gotta talk about Matt Hardy. So Matt Hardy was three different people in this match. Okay, he came out as like a cross between Broken. I think his first character when he first came out was like a mix of everything he's ever done in his entire career.
Yeah.
So he was like the Street Fighter Matt, and then he got thrown into the tunnel by Jericho, and then he was kind of taken out for the match for a couple of minutes, and then he came back as version 1 Matt Hardy with like his old school wrestling gear. I'm like, what the heck? And he was pulling off like the side effect and the twist of fate, which was hilariously awkward because when he was doing these moves, you can tell the commentary wanted to say it, but I don't think they own the rights to those names, so they're like, oh, he does a cutter.
Yeah. It was they were struggling. It was funny.
Oh, and then he eventually when they make their way to the back, he get locked in a freezer of all things.
Oh, damn, man. How the hell did you stay warm? It's cold.
And then a couple minutes later, they show him walking out of the freezer as Damascus, this new character he is, this new Broken character. Yeah. And that's when he steals a golf cart. He hits Jericho with it. Sammy got knocked the hell out by that golf cart, and
my God,
there's a cringe spot though. And I remember I expect you to have cringed at this, and you people out there. When Jericho laid out the steel gate on the ground, he suplexed Kenny.
Yeah.
On top of it, Kenny almost died twice in this match. At this point, if that spot had gone wrong, Kenny's back would have probably went through the metal peg. 2, Jericho landed on a piece of metal that was sticking out. That's why he was like hurting his back after that spot. And then Kenny almost died at the moonsault. They did a freaking forklift moonsault.
The scissor oh my, I can't.
You just think about it. If that move had gone wrong, Kenny would have died. Like, that was almost a 15-foot high moonsault on the cement concrete floor. Thank God he's able to pull off. This is why he is the best bout machine. This guy is one of the best wrestlers in the world because he can pull off shit like this and able to pull off a clean moonsault. And, give the props to the guys below who caught him the right way. It was just, this whole street fight was epic from everything we've mentioned. The golf carts, the ATMs, the icebox, the character changes, the table spots. And I think they did a good job of giving Inner Circle the win and pinning Kenny, of all people. That's protecting Matt Hardy, who just got there. And Kenny can kind of take an L in a street fight. It's a tag team match. It doesn't affect his singles record. And it was the most intense match he's probably been in since Full Gear. So
it's exciting. It's good. The Inner Circle is trying to make their way back because they all try to go for the title and so building their way back. So I love it.
And that's what's good. They don't make Inner Circle. It's good that they keep making them look strong because I think you have to. You put a lot of stock in Inner Circle, right? And you have Jericho as the head guy, so you don't want to just build them up for a couple of weeks and then they go back to being that team that just loses. You got to keep these guys looking strong all the time if they're your main faction. Right. So they've done a really good job with them. and
it's true. Brad said in chat, sets up the Sex Gods for a tag title match. So, and I'm okay with that. So, good. But yeah, no, Dynamite was probably one of the best episodes that I've seen. So, and I love it. It keeps getting better.
Well, maybe that's what. Well, it's interesting because that's why, if they're going to set up, if Double or Nothing is going to get Le Sex Gods against Kenny and Hangman, I thought Hangman would have at least been there this week. But because he's been teaming up with Matt Hardy and he's teaming up with Matt Hardy again next week, I don't think Hangman's going to be a Double or Nothing.
Unless, Matt says that he's going to be there and then Hangman shows up at Double or Nothing.
Who knows? Again,
I don't know. Well,
another thing to think about.
We got we'll see what happens. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. So,
but I mentioned Full Gear. I know everybody's seen it because it's been circulating around. It's something we probably should talk about since we are an AEW podcast. AEW kind of got into some hot water from Full Gear last year, which we were at. We were at Full Gear.
Yes,
it was fun. It was a great weekend, doing everything in that weekend. But AEW was fined that weekend because of the Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega match by the Maryland Athletic Commission for that lights out. They're fined $10,000. According to the commission, Maryland prohibits wrestlers from deliberately lacerating themselves, which, if you guys in wrestling terms, they blade themselves, or their opponents, or introducing human or animal blood into the match, none of which happened in that match. Omega and Moxley both bled in the bout, which featured a barbed wire spider web, a broken glass, and a mousetrap board, and more. AEW has 30 days to pay this fine. So,
it's more expensive there than New York, and New York is very strict. And when we were talking about this last night, New York's like $1,000 fine. So that's crazy.
I imagine they're just going to pay it off.
They usually shut down shows. I've been to shows where they've shut down because of blood. So
I imagine they'll pay them off. They'll stay in good terms. Maybe pay a little extra to kind of let's not spread this to the other wrestling commissions and make this a bigger deal than it already is.
Well, I will gladly go to New Jersey if you decide to do Full Gear in New Jersey.
I just think now that they're never going back to Baltimore, which is fine because when we went to Baltimore, that was not dissing anyone that's listening from Baltimore. I'm just saying the city. You should know if you're from Baltimore or why it doesn't seem.
It was interesting. Okay, next. Go on. Anyway, so let's talk about BTE.
Yeah, I'll talk about Beanie Elite this week, and it was a small episode but hilarious. And I tweeted out, I live for the Cutler kick out challenge, man. That shit that they've been doing is hilarious. And what they did with the Bucks this week, they tried to do the kick out challenge of kicking out of false finishes. They had Matt Hardy even describe what a false finish is. And
I was dying. I love.
He couldn't kick out of any of it.
I'm done. I love Brandon Cutler. I'm loving these little clips with him. It's just, again, me and Kyle are huge fans of Brandon Cutler. He's great. So I was dying. Cutler footage, man.
Yeah, it was good. And then we had
Matt Nick played basketball.
Yeah, the basketball thing. Oh, I don't know what was going on with that, but they were doing like the crappy edits with the dunks, and Matt couldn't hit anything.
Oh my god!
And it was just Nick and the referee that were draining shots.
I'm done.
The bloopers that showed like Nick couldn't drain one though. That was funny.
I feel like we should have had some merch free going on with some basketball.
I know. We should have like
funny to like actually see. Oh my god. But I don't know if you noticed it, but the whole like the AEW headquarters with like Cody Rhodes, like he actually said Cody Rhodes. Okay. Yeah. Like it's official, because I know we had talked about it on Wrestle Forum, like we weren't sure and like whatever. So it's official. It's Cody Rhodes now. But did you
although I do think he still wants to be called the American Nightmare Cody in the ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but the whole thing with Tony Schiavone about what he was doing, that he bought a PlayStation, he's getting flustered, whatever. Did you notice that when the coffee cup was given to Cody, it said FTR?
I didn't notice that. I literally didn't catch that. Okay.
Yes. We noticed that these were little things, again, that happened in BTE back then in the days. It was on coffee cups, FTR. So it's back, guys. So,
speaking of FTR, they're on Jericho's podcast, and I listened to the whole thing yesterday. Great podcast, by the way, guys. If you haven't listened to it, do yourselves a favor and go, because you'll grow a much bigger respect for the Revival. And why? Because they didn't want to leave the WWE. They told them, everyone thinks it was because of the money and everything. They're like, we don't want more money. You know what they told WWE, Tiff? They're like, we don't want more money. We just want you guys to invest in the tag team division and make tag team wrestling mean something. And because they didn't, that was one of the big reasons why they left the company. It was because they weren't putting in the effort to make the tag team division great. And it was such a good listen. And they talked about the FTR thing. And I don't know if this was part of character or storyline or whatever, but they mentioned that they're like, oh, we don't really know why they keep doing that. They're like, they think it's jealousy. They think it's the Young Bucks being jealous of them and Cody being jealous of them. So they talk about the FTR thing.
To it. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but
it was really good. Start to finish, very good podcast.
Looking forward to it. So, oh man, what else like with BT?
Oh, sorry. The FTR thing, by the way, they did mention that those pictures that were circling around of their makeshift gimmick that everyone wanted, that was real.
Yeah, I heard.
They said that it was real.
That's oh my God.
Anyways, as for the rest of BT, Taz and the psychic guy had a segment.
Yeah, the bodega guy. Yeah, I don't know. They could you get a little bit better Wi-Fi?
That's what I mean. I'm like,
whatever.
I thought it was done intentionally, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's not.
Maybe I don't know.
It was weird.
Yeah. So, and then the whole thing with Isaiah and Quinn, which we talked about, the bear. I love it. Shout out to my boy Isaac.
The quality. Oh my God. Like they have like
Isaac, man. They
got some like top of the, they're making Brandon Cutler look bad here.
Yep. That's
BT's made to look Isaac. Like that, though, right?
It's good. It's just really good. Yeah, no, that's all Isaac. So
good for him. Like if next time you talk to him, like tell him like props. Like that's probably the best like camera work and video that I've seen in a while, especially that has to do with wrestling. It's really good.
I know for years now, and like I always used to see him at ICW, and because he does like camera work there as well, and House of Glory did stuff. So GCW, he's been like all over the place. So yeah, he's really good. So shout out to him.
Who knows? This could have been an in for him. Maybe AEW will give him a ring. Who knows? Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So, and then the whole thing with Hangman making the sourdough at the end, and then him not wearing any damn pants, and then he was saying about that he didn't disinfect the flour. Stop! I'm like, are you serious right now? Like,
yeah, he wasn't wearing pants either.
Yeah, no pants. Like no pants.
And then quote unquote sourdough bread. I literally think it was just a loaf of bread just stuck into a pan.
I'm done. I love it like that. He didn't even put the flour into the thing. He's like, yeah, you got to add flour. You don't even see the flour going into the bowl. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, no, BT was good. I love BT. So entertaining.
It's sure to be even better now that everyone's back and now we can start doing stuff backstage and But it makes me wonder, like now they're even back live. I thought we at least see Matt or Nick, but they're still at home.
Well, you got to remember too, Nick just had a baby.
Yeah.
Right. And
he doesn't want to put that in jeopardy. I get it.
Yeah, like I have other thoughts in my head too, but I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast. But anyway, so never mind. I have my own thing that I'm not going to talk about on the podcast. But
Ferme LaBouche.
Yes. Anyway.
Anywho. Yeah, it's pretty much about it. Jam-packed week, guys. Exciting Dynamite's sure to be exciting next week. We're officially on the road to Double or Nothing. A couple weeks away. Happening on my B-Day. Going to be ordering it. Going to be watching have my little watch party here. And, it's awesome. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be very good. Very well done. Even with that little crowd, it's still going to make a difference, man.
Hey, it doesn't matter. You know what? Like, it's going to be entertaining.
And support, guys. Don't complain about the price. Buy the pay-per-view. Support AEW.
Fun.
Come on.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's something to do, right? At least we have this, right?
Yeah.
At least we have this. It
could be shut down completely. We have no wrestling.
Yeah. So at least we have this. So I'm very confident. No matter what's going to happen, it's going to be very entertaining.
So guys, if you're listening live tomorrow, myself, Tiff, and Ray are going to be back with Indie Talks. I'm going to be watching some indie wrestling, some GC dub. They've given me 2 matches to watch, and we'll go over on Indie Talks tomorrow. So make sure you come back here on the No Holds Barred Network and watch live. Or if you're on the go listener, make sure you listen in after to get my thoughts on some indie wrestling. I'm sure it's going to spark some people's ears and my opinions about indie wrestling, which it has changed. I've gained more respect for it, so I'm looking forward to it. And it's just more content coming each and every single week here on the network, guys. So make sure you are following the social medias of the No Holds Barred Network and All Elite Podcast. And on No Holds Barred Network, on that side, like on Facebook at No Holds Barred Network, follow on Twitter at NHB Network, and like us on Instagram at No Holds Barred Network. And then for the All Elite Podcast, you can find us on Facebook at All Elite Podcast, on Twitter at All Elite Pod, and on Instagram at All Elite Pod as well. You also follow myself at Real Kyle Masters on Twitter and Tiffany at Loves to Dream 82. And thank you for everyone listening on the go. You guys want to take or listen to the All Elite Podcast on the go? Search up the No Holds Barred Network on such apps like iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podcast Addict, and more. We are available on so many different listening on the go devices and apps. So guys, make sure you just search up the No Holds Barred Network. You'll get the All Elite Podcast and all of the podcasts available on this network. And shout out to Darren and D's Wolves. Thank you very much for letting us use the song Dead to Me, Darren. It means a lot to us to be the official theme song of the All Elite Podcast, and for a lot of your songs as well to be used for a lot of other podcasts on this network. So shout outs to you guys. Go show Darren and D's Wolves some love. Follow their socials. Follow them on Spotify or Google Play Music.
Just for the record, it's CZW. You're getting so much shit in the chat right now because you said GCW. There is a
okay. Hold up, guys. Do you know how many indie companies are out there? I ain't no king of the indies here. Okay, I don't know. Give me a break. My life is AEW. Okay, like give me a break.
You can give him a little bit of a break, okay? Because this is why I'm doing Indie Talks with Kyle tomorrow, because Kyle does not know. Kyle does not watch independent wrestling, okay? So this is the whole point of why I'm doing an Indie Talks with him tomorrow, because he really doesn't know. I took him to a House of Glory show, so give him a little bit of a break. I'll yell at him off cam, okay? Okay. So we'll school him tomorrow, okay? Indie Talks. Give him break. It is AEP today.
Okay. Well, as for AEP, ladies and gentlemen, as Tiffany is frozen shut on mine, God, why is this happening? We'll wait for her to come back as we do this outro. I can't believe this is happening right at the end of the podcast. But anyways, guys, this is going to wrap it up for All Elite Podcast, episode number 81. And she's back here. Episode number 81 of the All Elite Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. She's the EVP of Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, the Queen of the Indies herself, Tiffany. And guys, make sure you stay safe out there, wash your hands, and we'll see you guys right back here for the next episode of the All Elite Podcast. Take it easy.